all the chunky women. Talking about me, of course. It looks like we are live. I think everything's good. Oh, now I got it. Let me let the most important audience in. Come on. Did you want to come in here? Will you mind? Okay. Okay. So, all right. That's the baby doggy. And who wants to come sit on the bed with Ginger? Okay. Is that our inside audience? Is that the only ones that wants to be inside with me right now? Little Mama's missing. Sally's missing. Okay, now, I'm going to start off by saying my brother-in-law, my pastor, has got a report, and it's a report we can deal with. So let's just keep my pastor and his family in our prayers. And I'm trying to think. Jennifer Lavender Hampton's mother. I don't know her name, but I do know that Jennifer Lavender Hampton is very precious to me. So if you can, lift her mother up in prayer. She's very special. She has been for years. So we want to make sure that we remember people like that are struggling health-wise, financially, relationship-wise. We want to remember everybody that is struggling in any way. I may not have even named it, and still it'll pop in my mind that I forgot to name it. So just know that I love every one of you. I know there's people I probably don't even know that is watching right now. And I just want you to know I love you. I love everybody. Okay, I start off my show every time by saying this one particular thing because she's very special to me. Everywhere she goes, she spreads sweetness and kindness. And I just think a lot of her. So I want to bring attention to 10 Lost Children. Y'all make sure and check out this book. It is a true story about her and her siblings and what they went through as children on up through their teenagehood and how they struggle. So we want to make sure we remember her. This is her picture. She's a pretty lady. Look how pretty and sweet. So 10 Lost Children. Check out Ann Haskin. Annhaskin. Ann Haskin. We want to remember her. So y'all check out her book, 10 Lost Children. Okay. I have several things to tell y'all. I need that book over here to hold my notebook up. Anyways, I have several things to discuss with you. First of all, I don't know why my phone keeps giving me alerts. It's been doing that for a long time now, for a couple hours. Anyways, I'll just talk right through it. But I wanted to tell y'all, last night, my episode was extremely serious, and I tried to take what was a graphic story and a graphic situation, and I tried to take it and smooth it over and make it have a little moral to it. It was just an uncomfortable subject, but I don't think people realize how much this stuff goes on and how that farmers, you think of them having a peaceful life and not much happening, on the farm, and that their life is boring and mundane, and it just ain't. They have a lot going on. So anyways, the first thing I want to say is, if you ever get to the point where you don't believe that this stuff really exists, I had a neighbor when I lived in Glencoe. Now I live about 5-6 miles away from Glencoe. But anyways, they are military. And one day I just so happened to stop by and say hello. And they said, I mentioned to them what I'm interested in. Oh my goodness, I have Joyce Palmer. Hey Joyce, I love you. Mwah. Thank you so much for tuning in, darling. I love you so much. Lori, girl, my precious cousin Lori. I love you. Teresa, hey, sweetheart, how are you? Thank y'all for tuning in. This means the world to me. I'll try my best not to be boring. I love you too, Joey's. My sweethearts. Okay, now, but he was my neighbor, and he said, I just so happened to mention to him that I believe that there are Bigfoots out there. And this is before I had my sighting. I said, they've got to be out there because the pictures and the videos that I'm seeing are just ridiculous. I mean, no human being can be that large, that massive, And he said, this is what he calls it, all the people, everybody in his life, he calls the same name. Baby girl. He said, baby girl, he said, just don't go to Appalachian Highway at night. And when he did, it just hit me like a ton of bricks because I had just read about an army, way up in the army. I don't know if it was a lieutenant. I don't know if it was a general. I don't know what he was, but he was real high up in the army. Lived on Appalachian Highway in Hoax Bluff. And you know how secluded it is all the way down through there. Anyways, and that he had ran outside and seen one under his apple tree or something and took off out there after it. And so that was an Appalachian Highway in Hoax Bluff. And so, anyways, oh, I'm so tickled y'all are here, Lori and Teresa and Joey's. I love you so much. Mwah. Okay, so anyways, I just thought I'd tell you that was a military man that was my neighbor in Glencoe that told me not to go to Appalachian Highway in Hoax Bluff at night. And he didn't come out and say the words. I'm the one that said that I honestly believe that Bigfoots are real. And that's when he said that. Excuse me. And so I just was, right then I was like, I'm on the right path. But anyways, you let things go. Like you let things go and you just, keep on going with your life. And then all of a sudden you're at work and you're there to deliver some documents to somebody and they're not home, but you don't know that. So you're just sitting in the driveway with your flashers on. And what was this beautiful green meadow in Piedmont, Alabama, on the backside of Piedmont, way out in the country. You see, all of a sudden, you glance back up and see the most humongous. There are no words. I mean, my hands don't even reach to show you how big this thing was. And you do that thing, I remember telling my story. I remember saying, was it my windshield? I need to clean my windshield. You try to talk yourself out of the thing that you just seen because it just ain't registering, You've seen every kind of animal you thought existed, and then all of a sudden you see something that you can't explain that's bigger than bigger than a building. I mean, this thing was so huge. The one beside it was smaller, and then had something decorative like deer antlers tied to its head or something. I don't know. But anyways, I got home after doing this real fast with my camera and seeing that there was so many more. They were everywhere. But I also captured something in the shed. I still can't explain what's in that shed. Anyways, but I just wanted to tell you about my neighbor that I had in Glencoe, being former military and telling me that. So that made a big influence on me knowing for sure that I was on the right track. Okay, I wanted to say there is so many reports about Bigfoots and Sasquatches, and some people call them Sabes. I'm not a researcher as far as boots on the ground. I wished I would have got started earlier in my life so my body, the body that I have up here in my brain, don't match my physical body. Anyways, but Ginger wants to sit up here. Is that all right? Okay. Well, hold on, you're so long and big. We'll sit you up here like that. Okay. Say hey. Okay. Say Ginger, now I'm trying to do a show. Would you? Now look here. Look. Ooh, Ginger. Professionalism just went out the window. She has turned Look. All right, look, you fist and get down if you don't behave. All right, now, let me put her where she feels more safe. I know she feels like she's slipping out of the chair. All right, now hold on. Just hold on. Do you feel better now? You little rotten thing, you shivets all I ever see. Okay, now, Mississippi and Tennessee, Colorado, Washington, of course, West Virginia, North Carolina, y'all, these are all places that are just constantly reputable people. Now, I'm talking not people that, reputable people. And they're going to their local PD and to forest rangers and people like that, and they're doing these reports. And you got to know that these people don't want, well, like me, I just knew when I started this that I would have people telling me that, oh, thank you, Teresa, I think so too. I think Ginger is beautiful too. Thank you so much, darling. But I just knew people would say, well, Celena's went slap crazy when I started doing this YouTube. And I didn't start this, by the way, until my sighting, because it was embarrassing enough to tell people, hey, I believe in them things, But now, you don't really believe in them things, even if you can't believe how big they are and all that stuff. You still have that thought of, I ain't never seen them, so they can't be real, So, anyways, but then you see something yourself you can't explain, and then you see more than one, and then you see a whole family of these things, and you think, okay, I've gone slap crazy, and so that's why I did the interview, which, by the way, that reminds me, Miguel from Sasquatch Theory has reached out yesterday and told me that he's getting back with me on what day we're going to interview. He had something personal come up, and he said, can we put it off a couple days? And I said, sure. So, no rush. We'll be right here. We're not going anywhere. Anyways, so I just wanted to tell you, I have a few things that I wanted to go over with you. You need to watch. And it's best if I just show you, because the word N, when I try to pronounce it, might come out M. So I just rather write it down and show you that way, so you can make sure that you go to these channels, look these channels up, and I mean study this. And when I say study, what I'm telling you is, it's going to take you a while, because when people say, well, there's no evidence, girls, don't be arguing back there, I see you. Anyways, but people say there's no evidence, and then I'm going, yes, there is evidence. There's videos that are coming in daily of people hiking or kayaking or something, and all of a sudden they see something huge and large standing over there in the grass, and they're like, well, what else could it be? And what else would swim in the swamp when they see you? Like, this guy was walking through the woods, and this thing was tearing the bark off a tree, and he was just standing in the swamp. And he squatted down and started ripping off pieces of bark off the tree. And then he stood back up, and this guy took off running, because when he seen the height on this thing, he took off running. But this thing also, there's another one that was caught in the swamp, and it just took a nosedive in the swamp as soon as it saw the human. So you got to wonder what is so tough and non-fearful that it jumps into a swamp when it sees a human. You wouldn't catch me wading in a swamp. Shoot, I don't even want to kayak through there. There's snakes everywhere and crocodiles that eat your boat and everything else. It's backwards. Excuse me. It's backwards, and I know it is. But this is an NVTV Bigfoot. NVTV Bigfoot. And the other one is Realize TV. Now, I think it's just listed as realize, so don't bother with the TV word. It'll pop up realize. It's a black and white logo. And the third one is Maximum Fear. These are some channels that I go to just to keep up with the new videos and pictures that are sent in each week or daily. Some of them come in daily, some of them come in weekly. Y'all are not going to believe some of the pictures in the video that people have gotten. And it'll blow your mind. Because I don't think when they holler, there's no evidence. There's so much evidence. And anyway, so where did my notes go? We want to find our notes. We got so much to discuss. Hold on, y'all. All right, here it is. Okay, now, the first thing, other than the neighbor that was former military that said that to me about not going down Appalachian Highway in Hoax Bluff. If you go down Appalachian Highway, you'll see what I mean. It is very secluded down through there. And houses are few and far between the further down you get. And there's big old huge fields and all kind of trees everywhere. You'll see what I mean. So take a drive. Set your GPS for Appalachian Highway and you'll see exactly what I mean. All right. On the Patterson-Gimlin film, y'all know what I'm talking about. It was taken in, 67 or something. It was Patterson and Gimlin were on horseback. And Roger Patterson, I believe, said to Gimlin, cover me. And he jumped off his horse and tried to video Patty. That's what they nicknamed this female Sasquatch. Tried to video Patty. And he told him to hold a gun and cover me while I video this. And so he finally got his arms straight by propping his arms on a tree. And he videoed this thing. And she turned back and looked back at him. And it was a legendary film, and it still is. To this day, no scientist, nobody can debunk that film. They've tried, and every film, every picture out there, they've tried debunking. They cannot touch or recreate the Patterson and Gimlin film. So, anyways, I just thought that you'd find that interesting. Okay, but there is an X formation right on the hill, and I never did notice that. And so I got to watching the film, and I thought, oh my gosh, M.K. Davis lightened this up, where you could see it better. And when he lightened it up, that big old black X is sitting there on the side of the mountain. They've got this hill in the film, and Patty walks right past it, and it's this big, huge X formation on the side of the mountain. Well, I never did notice that till just now because M.K. Davis lightened the film up so we could see it better. So y'all need to go watch the Patterson-Gimlin film and look at that big X formation on the side of the hill. That'll fascinate you, because if you start seeing X formations standing out in the middle of your field like Piedmont and Gadsden has on those there's 4 places total, 2 in Gadsden, 2 in Piedmont. So if you go walking through the woods or you're passing down the road and you see an X formation, that is one of their symbols. We're not quite sure what it means yet. We just know it is one of their symbols, and they did make it. Now, sometimes you'll find teenagers or people in their 20s that thinks it's funny to try to just put up some formations themselves, and you can tell the difference between an X formation that a human has made compared to a Bigfoot, because the ones that the Bigfoots have made are jammed so far into the ground that a human can't pick it up. A human can't even pull it out of the ground. That's the difference between what a human can create and what a Bigfoot or its clan can create. So I did want to tell you about that. Okay. Since sensitive subjects, I wanted to apologize because last night I did a show on some very sensitive subjects. Excuse me. And what this was about was farmers that have been finding their animals harmed. And they also not only found the horse's manes, the mane of the horse hair excuse me. Excuse me. Anyways, The horse's mane was, you could tell that the Bigfoots had wrapped their hands and got all their hair from the horse's mane and just jerked it, and its little mane was bleeding, and it just broke my heart when they were telling this story. A man by the name of Jim Bear, Bear, King, King, is the one that told this story, and I just found it so fascinating. It turned my stomach. It turned my stomach because when I found out what went on at this farm and how them Bigfoots had hurt and tried to, they heard their horse screaming, and they went back there and found a Bigfoot, and there was actually two, and the Bigfoot had grabbed the horse by the mane and pulled its hair so hard that horse was screaming. And if you control a horse's head, I don't know nothing about animals. And I crawled on one side, the horse fell right back off the other side. I never did get to ride a horse. I tried one time, and that's all it took was me falling off the other side. Anyways, but I do know that when my hair gets pulled, it hurts. So I can't imagine when a horse's mane gets ripped out, its hair gets ripped out. No wonder it was screaming. And so they got down there, and if you look up Jim Bear King, he can tell you a little more. He's the one that I heard the story from, and I'm not copying him. I'm just telling you, tune into his channel, and he'll tell you exactly what happened. I'm just kindly grasping at different things I heard, but the subject I discussed last night was what happened when they found the Bigfoots down there. One of the Bigfoots had a hold of the horse's head, holding it down, and had controlled the horse's head by pulling its mane and making his little mane bleed. And the other Bigfoot, we'll just say, got behind that horse. Well, that bothered me really, really bad. It was a subject I knew was touchy. I just figured not only are they out there, you hear sweet stories about people feeding them. You hear all kind of stories about people, getting to talk to them and all that. And I was one when I first seen them that thought they didn't come at me. None of them come at me. They just stood there like a big old house. This thing stood there. But I told you I went back the next day and there was nothing. There was nothing but a beautiful green meadow. And so I knew I wasn't crazy. But a week later, the owner of the property called me and said, Miss Celena, we need to get together and compare notes because you don't know what's been happening here for years. And he asked me to meet him over at his house on a Saturday, and I met him over at his house, and it was amazing. He had Polaroid pictures, like them pictures. I had pictures on my phone, but he had pictures. And it just amazed me. There was an 18-inch set of footprints, a 14-inch set of footprints, 17-inch set of footprints. These things were in the snow. His grandmother had called him and said, get up here quick. Something is in my garbage. I can hear them out there. And, of course, he took pictures and everything. So it just amazed me, but it also made me feel better. Like what I just seen on this property yesterday, I really seen. Anyways, so, but it just fascinated me. But then, not only did the horses get hurt, the story went on further, that it ended up happening to the cows. And what happened was, and this broke my heart for sure, they went to the cows and they broke the cow's tail. That is horrible because they heard the cows hollering, and they had broke the cows' tails, and that's what they did to the cows also, not just the horses. Well, when you picture in your mind a great big old horse, you're thinking, what kind of animal could get control of a horse? Well, they say, I don't know anything about animals, but they say that once you control the horse's head, that it won't move its legs and it won't kick anything behind it because you're controlling its head. I don't know, but that's just what they said happened. And of course, also the cows breaking their tails to move the tail out of the way. The only way they could get to the cow, if you know what I mean, was to break its tail and move it. And it just broke my heart. Okay, so anyways, I just wanted to apologize about last night's show, trying to explain all this because I wanted to keep it classy, and and I wanted to make sure that I had kept all of the graphic detail out of the way. So, anyways, all right, let's see. I just thought you might want to know that everybody needs to know what's happening, even on farms that you think is boring and people don't have no life. This kind of mess is happening on these poor people's farms. So I thought you needed to know that. Remember, if you want a tour, if you want to go to the places that I have seen activity and seen the Bigfoot clan with my own eyes, I will take you to the road it happened on. But I will not take you to the address. That was a personal, I was on the job, so that was something that's personal that I refused to take you anywhere near that house where it happened. But you do know, as intelligent as my friends and acquaintances are, that if it happened on a property on a road, then you know they're on the whole road. They're not just at one house. So, anyways, it said, Teresa, well, since I'm retired now and bored out of my mind, me and you and Lori should go hunting for them. Where you saw them, I saw them in Piedmont, Alabama. And there's a lot of activity on two roads in Gadsden. Actually, it could be called Glencoe, but it is, I guess they would have a Gadsden address on it. So if you want to do this, we will do this. All you got to do is call me 256-399-8314. This episode will also be on my YouTube later. I'll have to download it in a few minutes when I'm done. Okay, so me and Teresa and Lori, I guess, is doing the first tour. You'll be my first tour. And Teresa, don't forget, I'm 7 people away from 100 subscribers. So tell everybody you know. It don't cost a penny to subscribe. Tell everybody you know to subscribe. All right, now let's see. So we got Piedmont and Gadsden tours, and the first one will be Celena and Lori and Teresa. That should be a fun trip right there. A lot of laughing too. Okay, now Yellowstone Park. I have just seen in the last 2 days, yesterday and today, how many sightings and how many people are getting on video Yellowstone Park and the activity at Yellowstone Park. Now, if the own government has their own cameras at Yellowstone and the government themselves have spotted and presented video with Bigfoot families in them, there's Bigfoot, y'all. But this is just in 2 days. How many reports has come in from Yellowstone? Okay. I just wanted to tell y'all that because that's really cool that they have cameras that were set up by the government, and even those cameras caught the Bigfoots. All right, now, there is a video out of a baby Sasquatch, or several baby Sasquatches playing, and they're just swinging and jumping from tree to tree. It's like a bunch of little baby Sasquatches. And no, they're not monkeys. Like, these are Sasquatches. And you can tell a difference because they're talking. They're making, like speaking their language. It's the strangest thing. Okay. And yes, Teresa, thank you for sharing, darling. I appreciate that. Am I going to charge for it? Shoot, y'all help me put gas in. That's what I charge for it. Y'all help me put some gas in and we are gone. All right, let's see. Now, the reason that we are seeing so many, and we used to not see or hear so much about Sasquatches and Sawbays and Bigfoots, which are the same thing, is because people have cameras now. And I mean everybody, even children have cameras. So what used to be people hiking and riverboating and all this other stuff and skiing and camping and all these other things, what used to be family members out there taking vacation, now the whole family has cameras. So what used to be 1 out of every 100 that had a camera, now you have 100 out of 100 that has cameras. So Bigfoots can't walk by anymore without somebody pulling out a camera. And which, by the way, because they are nocturnal, if you ever encounter a Bigfoot, I heard Jim Bear King say tonight, shine your flashlight right in their face because they can't stand that bright light in their face. And he said that may give you an extra couple seconds to get away. Anyways, y'all need to look up Jim Bear King. He's very, very smart. I love to hear his country accent. Okay, now, why are we seeing so many these days? And not only is it because we all have cameras, everybody and their brother, all over the world. Okay, we're seeing them because they're breeding, y'all. It's been a couple years now that I heard there's 4,000. Oh, little mama. Hey, little mama, say, little mama. Say, I just turned 84 years old. Say, I just turned 84. My name is Sally. All right, just put little mama over here. All right, now y'all play and talk and be sweet. Okay? Okay, now, let's see. Other than phones, which, like I said, everybody has one now, so nobody can escape anything. A very intelligent person once told me, always assume you're on video. So true. Girls, quit the growling. Quit that growling, Ginger. If you coming, come on. All right, now turn around, sit in, and behave. All right. She's took the whole chair. Okay, now, all right. Breeding. I once heard, I think it was a professor or somebody, it was at a college, say that there was probably 4,000 nationwide. Well, I'm just going to tell you, I think they was wrong because I have seen 4,000 on one piece of property. I'm not kidding y'all, they was everywhere. But you've seen my pictures. And if you can't stop the video quick enough, pause it long enough to see the pictures, I have the still photos. So you need to message me personally and then I can send you the still photos. Let's see. I told you about Miguel from Sasquatch Theory reaching out and wanting to interview me. I'm excited about that. So he's going to call when it's time to do the interview. And I told you they're breeding like crazy. I mean, everywhere in the pictures that I took in Piedmont, there was a mother holding her infant. And this infant's head, now this is the mother's shoulder now. She had it on her side. And this infant was way up here, and I just got so tickled. I got so tickled because, I mean, to see a Bigfoot family is one thing, but to see a mother and a baby with these eyes, girl, or girls, I was so tickled. Okay, so we know that they're breeding, and the population is going up like crazy. So, honey, there's 4,000 at least per state. At least per state. At least. Okay, so... Anyways, and then, of course, we have the areas being interrupted. Y'all, these are my personal notes. These are things that I have wrote down that has popped in my mind. I hadn't copied it off no, word-for-word book or nothing like that. These are things that I have actually evaluated as the longer that I have been doing this. But anyways, you know that they're doing a lot of logging and taking up a lot of the properties and stuff, and I think maybe sometimes that they're having to build their little nest and stuff for them to sleep, on properties that is near us, which, by the way, I wrote this down. They are not just in the country. They're not just in secluded areas. Which I love to hear him talk to, is Long Island Bigfoot. Y'all need to be writing this stuff down. Write this down right quick so you don't forget. NVTV Bigfoot, Maximum Fear, Realize, not I Realize, not that. REALEYES. It's the whole channel. And then NVTV Bigfoot and Maximum Fear. Well, there is Jim Bear, Bear, King, King, and then Long Island Bigfoot. Y'all are going to get so tickled at how he talks. I just love it. I love how he talks. But anyways, and it says like he's, one of the kinds that says, how's your mother? I love it. I just love it. Anyways, so, but they are not just in, big old farm areas and out in the country. These things are in the city. I mean, he lives in the city and he will go to certain blocks inside the city limits of like New York and New Jersey and stuff and video them where they, and of course the city, of course, has put up signs saying no trespassing, and they put in big locks and stuff like that so that nobody can open the gates and stuff and go in there. I guess they're a little scared. Anyways, okay, so we know they're not in just big areas and farms and country. It's out, they can even be in the city. As long as they have, the overlay of the trees and all that, they don't feel like they can be seen as easy. And so, therefore, he has filmed a mini in the city. Okay, now, I don't know, I hadn't looked it up yet because I just heard it a couple hours back, but I heard that Jim Bear King has a radio station or radio something called Bigfoot Outlaw Radio. So I will check that out tonight. Y'all can do some checking too for yourself, and I'll let you know for sure. But if that's true, I told you I like to hear him talk. He's very wise. He's just country as cornbread. So go and look up Bigfoot Outlaw Radio and see if you can hear Jim Bear King tell his stories, especially the one about him and his brother and sister playing in a field. His granddaddy just so happened to look out the door or something and see a Bigfoot approaching his three grandkids. And the granddaddy took off running and all that. It was a sight. So y'all need to hear those stories. And he's the one that I heard about the cow and the horse and how that they were being treated, and that some Bigfoots went rogue and tried to prove their manhood even to farm animals. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so here we go. I heard this also from his channel, Jim Bear King. This is graphic again, even more graphic than last night's about the horse and the cow. So try to read between the lines. Do not make me the villain. I'm just telling you what I heard. And it is a true story. We were, me and the baby sitting there watching TV, and Jim Bear King's report was on, and he said, so many pieces, like they'll put down if a human is torn to pieces and things done to a human that another human can't do, that they would cover it up and write, mauled by bear, stuff like that. And they would hurry up and, what do you call them, blah, 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 where they put you in that, Bigfoot Outlaw Radio, I think, Teresa. Hold on just a second. Where did I put that? Bigfoot Outlaw Radio, Jim Bear King. So make sure you write that down. What do you call it when we get, they put you in that burning thing and then turn you into ash? Somebody help me out. What is that called being, that word has slipped my mind. Out of all the words I've said, that word has slipped my mind. So what do you call it when they put you in that thing, your casket and everything, and then it burns you to ashes, and then they put your ashes in a box? Somebody help me out. Girl. Anyways, it's not embalmed. What am I trying to do? Cremated. Thank you. Thank you very much, Teresa. Lori. Thank you, Lori. It was Lori that said that. So, cremated. Anyways, when law enforcement, thank you, darling. I appreciate Lori and Teresa helping me out. But anyways, they said that when they would, the government, the police, law enforcement, would find a body that had been mauled and broken, the head turned that way. Like, for instance, this is the front of my body, and my head is completely broke and turning the opposite direction. So that's freaking crazy. I mean, that's crazy. Anyways, so when law enforcement would find their bodies, they would say that an animal did it, it was mauled by a bear, and a bear did it, right? Well, a bear will tear somebody up. It will do that. But a bear won't take somebody's head and turn it around to the back of their body. Anyways, so things like that. And so they always cremated them before anybody could look into it. They would tell the family, you don't need to see this. It's too graphic. The bear has destroyed your family's appearance and you don't need to see that. So come to find out, that's why they didn't want the family seeing that whatever had disfigured them, totally moved their body parts and ripped their arms off and ripped their legs off. We've already discussed all that. If you're found in the woods and a part of your body has been removed from the rest of your body parts cannot be removed by humans unless it is cut off. So, if your arms or legs or your head or something is pulled off, it has to be done by something mechanical. That is the only, you know what I mean by mechanical. A vehicle if you're in a bad car wreck, or a machine if you're on the job and the machine gets out of your arm and tears it away from your body. That's one thing. But for you to be laying in the middle of the woods and your body parts is all over the place, a Bigfoot got a hold of you, because a bear will bite into and pull away from the body. But it's usually Bigfoots, and y'all know what I mean. So the police, they said, had always listed it, had them created and listed it as a bear mauling or a bear attack, and said it was too graphic and the family didn't need to view it. Well, now families are getting wise and they're saying, I want to see my family member. So if they're bad as they say they are, then I want to see it. Let's see, Teresa says, it is crazy, and the people that goes missing while out hiking in the state parks, that they never find their body. Yay! I finally found somebody that knows exactly what I think. Yay. Okay, so we covered the twisted necks and turned backwards. How crazy is that? All right, now, the story that I was going to tell you. All right, here it goes. It's very graphic. I apologize if I'm graphic at all. I try so hard to go around the graphic part of it and try to use my own wording. Anyways, okay. A boy and girl was out in the woods, and they was giving each other sugar. And the boy was standing behind the girl. Okay, a Bigfoot come up, and the Bigfoot, let me read this specifically. The Bigfoot turned the boy's head completely backwards on his body. So he turned the boy's head completely backwards. And he ripped the girl from stem to sternum. All the way up. Hush it up. Anyways, he ripped them stem to sternum while they were being frisky. Okay, so he turned, or whoever, the Bigfoot, turned the man's head to the backside of his body and ripped the girl up from stem to sternum. Okay? And that's what they found when the boy and girl were in the woods getting sugar. Okay, this happened in Mississippi, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Mississippi, which is not far at all. And it's like you want people to absolutely, get some common sense. Now, I know humans that can break a neck. I know humans that are that strong and they've learned techniques because they've learned to make sure they defend themselves, and if they had to, they could break somebody's neck. I know many like that, many strong people that's had training, but I don't know any that could take a human head and turn it to the back of their body. I just do not know. I do not know. None of them. So that would be a first for me. I have seen an arm. No disrespect, but I did work at a funeral home years and years ago, like in 2007 or 8 or something like that. And an 18-wheeler person had had a wreck, and they asked me, did I want to see a limb totally removed from the body? I said, yes, yes, I do. I do. So everybody went and seen, because I mean, after all, it was a form of training because you are working there. So, anyways, and I guess they were trying to get us used to seeing things like that. And I said, yes, oh, okay, let's get out of here. I didn't even open my eyes. I pretended I looked. I didn't. I couldn't get it out of my head to envision an arm separate from the body. And I just couldn't. I couldn't look. I told a story to the person training me. I said, yes, I seen it and let's go. I didn't even open my eyes. Which now, funny now, Lord, after I've been through all I've been through, I probably could do it easily now. In Alaska, for instance, there are hundreds, I repeat, hundreds of indigenous Alaskan women that have just disappeared. There are thousands of people in Alaska, Teresa, thousands, male and female, actually, that have disappeared. Okay, so you do watch that was it Missing 411 with David Pilatus? Oh, good show, good show. All right, here we go. Family, let's see, where I had my sighting. Oh, yes, where I had my sighting, somebody on screen pointed out to me that there was 3 faces in that shed when I was on the property. Not the Bigfoots and all that. They're talking about in the shed that I still don't know what it was. I don't know if it's ghost. I don't know. But anyways, but they pointed out to me that there was 3 faces in the shed instead of just one. Well, I went back and I blew it up, and there's 3 faces in the shed. I have no idea what they are. Well, I called the owner, I text the owner, and I said, BBB, I'm not telling you their name, but I said, BBB, I said, I thought you might want to know that there are 3 faces that showed up in the shed in the picture instead of one. And I haven't got a response back. So I went from being very open, and they were open, and they shared with me their pictures, and all this, and all of a sudden, nada. So I don't know if the more we compared notes and I seen what they had and they seen what I had, if they just pulled back because they were uncomfortable. Maybe somebody is bothering them by ridiculing them for believing in them. I don't know, but they pulled back and I've not heard from them since. So we were very, let's meet, let's talk, let's compare notes, to nothing. Not even responding to a message. So I'm just telling you, people are horrible at ridiculing, and they don't care how old you are. They try to bully. Well, the good news is I bully back. I'm just kidding. I pray for them. But I will not take anybody being ugly to me. Now, I know what I'm saying. Y'all know who I am. I tell it like it is. I try to do it with a smile, but I do tell it like it is. And nobody's going to tell me that I did not see what I seen in Piedmont, Alabama. Thank you. Anyways, okay. Let's see, I've covered that one, that they are no longer wanting to communicate with me, which scares me that somebody somewhere, I hope they have not threatened them. That's what scares me. So, no more contact where that family's concerned. All right, now, here's your one. This is what I said. Okay, let's see. I don't see the faces. Oh, honey. You've looked at the picture with the shed and the windows. The windows are right here in front. I mean, how can you not see them? Go back, Teresa, and look at, there's several pictures of the shed, and only one of those pictures is 3 faces. One of them is very clear, and it looks like at the middle of the ladder. And then there's a face turned to the side looking this way. And then right above those two is a man wearing a big white cowboy hat. And nobody was home. So I don't have any idea who they was. But go back and look at that real up close picture of the shed and look real good, and you'll see the man with the big white cowboy hat, and then you'll see the face below that and the face of the picture, of the one him looking to the side. Let's see, what was my last one? Oh, yeah, picking up. This is so awesome. Let's see. They won't communicate with me anymore, darling. So I don't know how many people has passed away. But, okay. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's something. It wasn't Bigfoot's and it wasn't human. So I don't know what was in that shed, but that was so odd. Look again at the picture very close up. Okay, now, a boy and a girl was out in the woods, and they were sitting in the car talking. Well, something picked their car up because it was running. It was cold outside, so they had the car running. Something picked their car up, and they tried to drive away, and it just sat and spun. And of course, after that, so much screaming and all this, it dropped the car and let them leave. Well, that's happened to multiple people in multiple vehicles and multiple ATVs. All them kind of ATVs. So I'm just saying, yes, keep on looking, Doc, because I found stuff in those pictures days after I had taken them. Like, for instance, once you think you've spotted the mother holding the infant, Bigfoot, you'll spot 10 more. I'm not kidding. They're all over that place. All over that place. Okay, so I just wanted to tell you that that would scare me to death if a Bigfoot come up and held my car in the air so I couldn't leave. I mean, that would scare me. Or if one of them come up to my window and me going down the road or sitting still in my car, that would scare me to death. All right, the last thing, oh, honey, we're going on an hour. The last thing I wanted to tell you was, we know for a fact that there has been sightings in two parts of Piedmont, Alabama. All right, we know for a fact that there has been two. Oh, yeah, don't forget about one of my buddies told me about him and his little brother on their way home from school. They swung by through some woods, and he said, I was 12 years old, and I'll never forget, because we were late. We tried to tell Mother, Mama, we just seen a hairy man when we were on our way home from school, and she wouldn't stop spanking him. She wouldn't hear what he was saying because she was so busy spanking him for being late from coming home from school. She wouldn't believe him, and but he went back years later as an adult and said, Mama, you do believe that I seen what I seen? And she said, oh, yeah, if you tell me you seen it, you seen it. So when as a kid, she was too busy spanking him. She didn't believe him. But as they got older, she said she believed him. Anyways, I thought that was fascinating. So we do know that Appalachian Highway in Hoax Bluff, very, very secluded at times. There's been a sighting there. And we do know that near Fords Valley Road in Hoax Bluff, that there's been a sighting there. Okay. We also know that in Piedmont, Alabama, there's been at least 2 sightings, so don't forget that one. Mississippi and Tennessee. Colorado is just crazy. Now, let's see. Colorado Bigfoot. If you want to watch him, you can. He's got some really good footage. He has a lot of energy, and he'll tell you himself. He'll tell you himself why he has so much energy. So, but anyways, he is got some of the best footage I've ever seen. I mean, really good footage. So you can watch Colorado Bigfoot, look at some of his pictures. He's a big talker like me, so if you get tired of his talking, do like you do me and fast forward through it. But just look at them pictures. Look at them pictures. He's got some really good pictures and video. Okay, we know Washington, California are ate up with Bigfoot, y'all. It's crazy. All right, and then Carroll County, Georgia. A family in Carroll County, Georgia, has these things living on its property. Now, I'll make sure my lipstick ain't. Anyways, Carroll County, Georgia. Y'all, I'm not kidding. If you seen the pictures, it's crazy of how many Bigfoots these people have living on their property. It's crazy. And they're so humongous, and the muscle mass on these things. They've told about, I mean, all kind of. Actually, if you'll do what I tell you, do your homework and watch NVTV Bigfoot and Realize and Maximum Fear and watch Jim Bear King, you'll see, you'll run across this family. They actually give a testimonial of what they went through as far as, trying to video them, and they were outsmarting them, and they couldn't get video of them, and they pointed 4 different video cameras all the same direction and pointed them all at each other, and they would either run out of film, quit recording, or they kept just dodging the video. And so finally they caught a couple pictures, out on their property, and these things are so huge. So, NVTV Bigfoot, Realize, REALEYES, Maximum Fear, Colorado Bigfoot, and listen to Jim Bear King. And also, don't forget Swan Lake Bigfoot. I thought it was Swanee. It's Swan Lake Bigfoot. To our little Canadian fella, the sweetest, meekest, mildest talking, sweetest Canadian. You got to watch him just to hear him talk. And somehow he's not only playing the flute sometimes, he plays his hands like, real loud. It sounds like a tuba or something. Anyways, but y'all definitely need to watch that show. I mean, he's the sweetest thing. It's Swan Lake Bigfoot. All right, girls, I'm doing a big cross or a big X. We're through with these notes. And I will get back with you hopefully tomorrow if I feel all right. I'm so glad I'm not sick anymore, y'all. I'm serious. I was at death's door. I thought I was dying. I really did. And don't forget, one more time, 10 Lost Children, Ann Haskin. 10 Lost Children, Ann Haskin. Sweet little Ann Haskin. Precious. Okay. I love y'all so much, and thank you for tuning in. And if you hadn't subscribed, subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, which is free, it don't cost a thing, you can like it. If you didn't like me, that's all right. I love you anyway. Talk to you later, taters.